So, am I back? I don't know. Kind of a difficult question to answer. I guess I gotta start with mentioning that the game has changed. And I know that sounds super dramatic, but that's probably the best way to put it. So the purpose of my channel initially was Nico was really annoying to navigate. You needed to know Japanese, you needed an account. There was all sorts of crazy shit involved, like I forgot what it was called, but I think it was economy time where the video would drop to like 144p quality or some shit. And yeah, just a whole bunch of things that you needed to navigate. So I tried to mitigate that by ripping everything and putting it on YouTube. Simple enough, right? I mean, there was a lot of caveats to deal with. Nico was super annoying, ripping streams. I don't even want to get into the amount of nonsense I had to go to put streams on YouTube, but there's a lot of annoying things I had to deal with behind the scenes. But that all changed when DBFZ came out because there was no arcade release, and that was like the biggest quote unquote anime game that had come out for some time. No arcade release, no videos on Nico. Um, Most of the events were like the big events were happening here. There was a lot of international players and travel and so on and so forth. So it's like, well, I don't really need to cover this game. And because it's based on IP like Dragon Ball, there was no like it wasn't a niche. Like BB was me and maybe a couple of other channels, like Pocket Asian and stuff like that. Um, Most niche anime games had maybe one or two channels covering them. It wasn't like DBFZ where everybody was like trying to get on it. And I guess the other way the game has quote unquote changed was because of no arcade footage. Most DBFZ footage you'll see online that's not tournament is from NetPlay. So Arxis, added this new replay channel type feature thing. You could literally watch any player you want, all their replays. Well, I think there's probably a limit, obviously, but all their recent replays, and that's it. Record, do whatever you want. So, what are the channels like Zeus is? I think Yoga Flame used to do it. So there's all these channels popping up that are like just uploading DBFZ, and almost all of them are just using NetPlay matches. So in that regard, the original purpose of my channel wasn't really necessary anymore. There were a couple other factors, like I started working full time, so like my uploads slowed down around like 2016 because it's either I come home and I upload, or I come home and I watch something, play something, whatever. Pretty much came down to deciding how I want to spend my free time. Anyway, so with DBFZ doing that, Granblue did that as well. It didn't have as many channels because the IP is not as powerful as Dragon Ball, but it was pretty much the same scenario, right? And because of COVID and no offline events, no arcade version, pretty much most Granblue footage was NetPlay, and that wasn't really what I started uploading for in the first place. And pretty much what it comes down to when I upload something is I have to enjoy it, at the very least watching the game. Like, I don't know if you guys remember when I uploaded Under Night. I didn't really play Under Night, but I like watching the game, so I was like, okay, whatever, I'll upload that too. But DBFZ and BB Tag by extension, I realized I didn't particularly enjoy watching. I guess I'm not a fan of tag games, versus games or whatever, outside of Marvel. So those games didn't really resonate with me like that. Plus, everybody else was taking care of them anyway, so I was like, okay, let's stop. And Strive came out. I like the game. There's some ups and downs, but that's like with every game, every new iteration or whatever. And the same thing is happening. You can download whatever amount of replays you want from any player and just record. And PS5, PS4, whatever share function, it makes it super easy to do this without any external like recording if you're lazy like me. So that's been cool. So I mentioned I have to like the game for me to want to start uploading, so I like Strive. And that brings me to my next point. Whenever I upload something, like I get comments like, "Oh shit, you're back," and I'm like, I'm so confused. I thought I was like a relic. You don't really need me anymore. It's so easy to navigate. Like times have changed. Before, you were lucky if the player you like showed up in this weekly, like Tachikawa weekly, whatever. But now it's like, okay, they're online all the time, and you can just follow their channel and watch their replays. You don't really, need to pray that the player is going to show up in this week's footage. So, that's super different. And I guess the advent of esports and lots of sponsorships and teams and whatever. And I think streaming is pretty much a requirement to be an esports player, whatever you want to call it. So a lot of these players are streaming now. Like what they have the different platforms of choice. Like I think like Daigo, Fenrich, Goichi, they use Buildum. Some players use YouTube. Like Ogawa's streaming like 5 hours a day, Strive on YouTube. I'll like link his channel and the other channels at some point. Kazunoko streams on YouTube every day, or some players are still using Twitch. So you don't really need to look out for like praying that a specific player is going to show up in footage, because they're like streaming every day or every other day. So I say all that to say, like, I'm surprised when people are happy that I'm back, because I'm not really necessary anymore. I like to like joke and say I'm a relic of a bygone age, but that is really what it is. So, am I back? I don't know. I'm working from home half the time, so I have a little more free time. Oh, and I should. One of the other things is, in addition to uploading high-level play for people to watch, burn time, learn things, I also watch my own uploads a lot, and it's much easier doing it this way than like watching from the console or whatever. So I need something to watch, and that sounds selfish, but it was also a primary motivation of mine when I was uploading for so long. And there was things like videos disappearing. There's this one set in Blaze Blue, Tachikawa, Tetsuo versus Conan, and that video was deleted. I tried searching Nico up and down because it was a really good match, and it doesn't exist anymore. So that was another reason, like preserving the Blaze Blue museum, I guess. But things aren't really like that now. So, am I back? I guess for as long as I enjoy Strive, and right now I think the game is, for a first version, it's pretty fun to watch, because there have been some janky first versions. You guys remember A Gohan, Cell, all that, yeah. So, yeah. As long as I like the game, I guess I'll keep going. And even if I don't, there's plenty of other channels out there. There's one guy, girl, I don't know, their name escapes me. They upload a lot of like Strive replays on a daily basis, but they only upload like one set. Like the Fenrich Nage set, I think I only uploaded 6 games of that because it was a compilation, but they played 9 games, right? And that person uploaded 3 games. So they only upload one set at a time. I always favored longer sets. You can learn more, you can see different responses over time, adaptation, etc., etc. So I guess that's where I differ from some people. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you got any questions, just leave them in the comments.